It is impossible that your parents warned you. If you become a content creator on the internet, you're going to deal with a lot of mentally disabled people. It's impossible that your parents or your grandparents could have warned you about the type of mentally disabled people who will get in touch with you if you get just 1 million views per year on YouTube. And what a significant percentage of the email coming into your inbox. And even the people who pay $1, even the people who pay $3 to talk to you on Patreon, what a remarkably high percentage of those people will check all the boxes for having a significant mental disability such as autism. Now, it's possible you had a grandfather who warned you if you joined the army. These are the kinds of guys you got to put up with in the army. It's possible you had a mother or an aunt who told you if you become a waitress, you're waitressing late at night, these are the kinds of guys who come in the door. But both in real life, dealing with people face to face, any kind of scenario, and on the internet, there's this subtle but powerful effect of the barriers to entry that exclude certain kinds of people and the ways in which, shall we say, the gates, the doors that are flung wide open, welcome in certain kinds of people. Now, YouTube tells me I have 8,000 regular viewers. I think it was 8,800 from memory. Now, that's YouTube's own internal artificial intelligence metric meeting man-made stupidity. I would have guessed the number was about 1,000, but YouTube tracks every person who comes back again and again, and they're saying, nope, there's actually more than 8,000 people who are coming back again and again. Like, again, they're not watching every video. Maybe some of those people are just watching the videos about Buddhism. I know I have a kind of special subset of audience. Some of them are just watching the videos about politics. I had people who were just fans of my comedy videos, stuff about hip hop, video games, whatever, all kinds of different subjects. Romance, relations with the gender. It's possible that I'm getting 500 views on this video and 2,000 views on that video, and that there really are 8,000 people, and the YouTube metrics know what they're doing. But guess what? The vast majority of those people never send me an email. Even the majority of the people who donate $1 a month to me on Patreon or donate $3 a month, even the vast majority of those people don't ever talk to me. And there was one guy, as I recall, he donated over $1,000 at one point. That was when I had the court case in Thailand. The most recent trip to Thailand for the final day in court. As I recall, that was over $1,000 he donated. He never talked to me before. He never talked to me. At that time when he made the donation, he expressed appreciation that he'd been watching Jump Streams. Okay, and why? Because these people have jobs. These people have other interests and priorities in life. They appreciate the content I produce on this channel, and they don't have a goddamn thing to say to me. But the mentally disabled people, their combination of stupidity, a misplaced sense of moral superiority, and smug self-righteousness will bring them back into my email inbox again and again and again. So this guy, who is probably Fandar, probably, but if not, this guy named Eric, who has a lot of things in common with Fandar, he has written to me in outrage about a comedy video. And one, he does not understand that it is comedy. This happens all the time. I'll give you guys some other examples. He doesn't understand that it's joking. When I point out that it's a comedy video, he refuses to acknowledge this. He says, no, this is not comedy. This is insulting women. Like, this is like a serious denigrating. And he assigns to the video a thesis, like as if it's making a point, which is the diametric opposite of the thesis of the video. Now, in this case, I can give you guys some contrasting examples. In this case, every single person who talked to me about this particular video understood the thesis, understood the joke. The point of this video is that if you are a good-looking man and you choose to be with a woman who is not particularly beautiful, who is not particularly attractive, the other people in your life, including your parents, your cousins, your coworkers, the other people in your life just assume, as a shallow cultural assumption, that this woman has some marvelous, intangible, redeeming qualities, that she's intellectually a good person or morally a good person, and they think that you as a man are a good person because you're good looking enough or wealthy enough or successful enough. You could have chosen to be with a beautiful woman, but instead you've chosen this relatively homely woman, this relatively unattractive woman. So then you as a man, you also must be a man of great substance and profundity and gravity because you've chosen a morally good woman. And the point of the comment is this is complete bullshit. You know, a woman may be beautiful and may be morally good. A woman may be ugly and be morally good. There's no relationship between these things. A woman may be beautiful and be intellectually sophisticated, and vice versa, right? Whether you are beautiful or ugly has nothing to do with your emotional redeeming qualities, intellectual redeeming qualities, so on and so forth. But this is the public perception of these things. And when you're a man who's chosen to be with a strikingly good-looking, with a gorgeous woman, the people in your life actually judge you in this very peculiar way, in this sneering way, like people will say things like, "Oh, I didn't know you were that kind of guy. I didn't know you were a guy who was just after for a woman. It was just after a woman for her looks. I didn't know you were the kind of guy who seek out a woman just because she's beautiful." And of course, the slipperiest part there is just. Like, okay, so the woman I'm with is beautiful. Why do you assume I'm just with her because she's beautiful? Why do you assume that's... Everybody got the joke except you, Eric. Everybody got the joke except you, Fandor, because these other people are not autistic. They're not mentally disabled in a way where, one, they can't even recognize that it is a comedy video. Two, they don't get the joke or don't get the point of the joke. They don't get that, as with a great deal of comedy, it deals in paradox and contradiction in a provocative way. And then that's the point that's revealed at the end of the video. Very memorably, in response to this video, one guy in the audience, and I still know him, he wrote in saying he'd had that very same experience himself, that he knew what it was like. He was with a woman who was very beautiful as his girlfriend, I think for a couple of years, and he saw the way people reacted. People judged him, right? So he'd been through this. So there were people who could relate to it. There were people who understand it. I don't know. There were people who laughed at it and thought it was funny on different levels. Now, there have been so many examples of comedy videos I've made where I hear back from these mentally disabled people in the audience who do not even recognize that it's comedy, who think that it's a serious political statement, whether that's about gender or police violence or racism, whatever it is. So first, they fail to apprehend that it's comedy. And then two, they don't see what the thesis is and they assign some totally different thesis in their mentally disabled perspective. The last time I went to a stand-up comedy show in person, there were a few elderly people in the audience. There were a few people over 65, okay? But everyone else in the audience was gorgeous, male or female, gay or straight. Everyone in the audience was physically fit. I don't think there was a single, under 65, I don't think there was a single obese person, a single fat person. And you sit there and look around, and you can't judge people's intelligence, but they all seem at least sharp and alert, and you see how they're following reactive comedy. This audience is way above average intelligence, way above average physical fitness, way above average in terms of attractiveness. Why? Because these are all people who had the time and money, get dressed, make the effort, come here and sit down in this seat in this stand-up comedy club. These are people, and they were all couples. Nobody's there alone. It's all either a group of two, group of four, group of six, but they're all basically heterosexual couples, the whole crowd. Well, it wasn't that big a venue. I could see everybody in the crowd. Okay? These are all good-looking, intelligent people who have their act together. Okay? And that is not the audience you get on YouTube. On YouTube, disproportionately, you are dealing with physically disabled people, mentally disabled people who cannot get their act together, whether emotionally or what have you, to get dressed, get out, go to an event. You are dealing with people who are too stupid to get the joke, who are too stupid to follow the moral or political point you are making. This is something your parents should have warned you about, your grandparents should have warned you about, but they couldn't unless they grew up with access to a time machine.